Hey, what's up, Jen? You're up late, huh?
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let 'em burn it out.
We only talk about ramen noodles here, spicy. So you can take your fake noodle bullshit away somewhere else, okay? Are you even allowed to go still get noodles in China? Aren't they doing like a mandatory blood drive so they can invade Taiwan next year or something? Cracker Barrel probably has... My mom, first of all, caveat, my mom loved Cracker Barrel. I've eaten at them all around the world. There's a guy I used to work with that would literally have the employees come in early so he could buy us breakfast at Cracker Barrel. Like I mean, it's not horrible food. It's just, it's obviously tailored towards old people. Like every time I ever went with my parents, every time I ever went with that guy I worked for, like I was one of the, if not the youngest person in there every time. This was like when I was in my 20s. They're dying. And it used to be a really good restaurant, like for wait staff. They used to get a ton of fucking tips. Honestly, like I like breakfast, like restaurant breakfast, but a Cracker Barrel is probably overpriced on that compared to like the diners we have around here. I don't know if other people have like family-owned diners, but we do. Breakfast is usually the cheapest meal to prepare, the cheapest meal to buy at a restaurant. I don't know. like chicken fried, country fried stuff was all right, but I don't know. They've just never tried to reach a younger market, I don't think. What kids do you know? Like, let's 20 to 25-year-old kids, it's like, hey, let's go to Cracker Barrel. They need to revamp their image or something, for sure. I know, all I saw was they were changing their logo. I'm assuming they're going to change their menu too. I don't know what all they're doing, but Grandpa's old-timey breakfast is not something that younger people are interested in. And boomers are dying. Arguably a good thing, but boomers are dying.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when
Bert hates this intro.
Linda Bindaland. So,
he says this is why the freaks watch my show.
Peace out.
You bunch of freaks. Welcome, everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. Sorry about the freaks intro, I guess. I appreciate it. I know I'm late again. I'm just wore out. Dude, I spent like hours and hours the last 2 days. I probably spent 5 hours today weed eating, and I probably spent 5 or 6 hours yesterday weed eating. I don't know. I'm sore. I'm lazy. I'm wore out. And I just didn't get started early enough tonight. So I made it either way, just late. I know less people will watch, but that's all right. They can watch the replay. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. There's a couple things. I saw Phil came back, which it was actually a couple nights ago, but Phil came back and did a live. It was basically just more of the same shit. Like, oh, big things are going to be happening. Just wait. Lots of big things are coming out. Saw a post on Telegram where Cracker Barrel is also modernizing their interior design. You would think a change of menu would be in order. Their ingredients aren't healthy. They don't need usual butter. I don't know. We can look up the Cracker Barrel story. Phil is just promising greater things. The email chain we read out the other day where he's like, I'm sorry, I thought you were an... You guys know every time he says that his 401k rollover company, Goldco, he tells you to look up numismatic coin value, that not only is he lying, he's talking about a federal crime. You cannot invest 401k into collectibles, whether that's coins or baseball cards or video games or antiques. It cannot be collectibles. It's illegal. You can't do it. You can't set up a 401k rollover that does fucking Mickey Mantle baseball cards, right? It's illegal. So when someone comes to him and says, hey, my parents lost a shit ton of their retirement, he's like, oh, no, they didn't. Look up numismatic. They need to call Goldco and they'll tell them the real balance. Don't look at your statements. And they're like, no, that's not true. And they're like, oh, he's like, oh, I guess you're just an industry expert or some shit. Like, he's lying. Not only is he lying, but he's putting that company in a situation where if it were true, they would be committing a crime. Cracker Barrel, the old country store eatery that has been a staple of interstate detour dining since its growth in the 1990s, is facing backlash and becoming a point of partisan conflict as the chain tries to meet modern times. The Southern-style restaurant gift shop announced Wednesday that it is changing its logo, removing the old man and carefully sketched barrel, as well as the whipping K flourish over the restaurant's name. We believe in the goodness of the country hospitality, a spirit that has always defined us. Our store hasn't changed. The company's chief marketing officer, Sarah Moore, said in a statement, "We're honoring our legacy while bringing fresh energy, thoughtful craftsmanship, and heartfelt hospitality to our guests this fall." Customers and social media users had a different response, though. The name Cracker Barrel was initially derived as an homage to people in the South who gathered to play cards and other table games around barrels, which were used to transport items that could be crushed in delivery, like crackers. Cracker also has been used as a derogatory euphemism for white people, creating fodder for a younger generation as Cracker Barrel faces its new hurdles. Cracker Barrel has been a destination for comfort and community for more than half a century, and this fifth evolution of the brand's logo, which works across digital platforms as well as billboards and roadside signs, is a callback to the original and rooted even more in the iconic barrel shape and word mark that started it all back in 1969, the company said in a statement. So they're going back to an older design. The new logo is sleek with few flourishes, nothing beyond brown text and a simple brown outlying loop on a deep golden background, but it quickly drew questions from people wondering what happened to the iconic man and barrel. That I've never even thought this much about Cracker Barrel's logo. Like there's a man and a barrel on it. Some on social media contemplated the sterile aesthetic of the newly remodeled Cracker Barrel dining rooms, even though the eateries aren't homesprung businesses. It's not supposed to look like an antiseptic airport lounge, one critic wrote. Yeah, make it disgusting and nasty. Other fast casual chains also got in on the ribbing, including Steak and Shake, which embodies its own 1950s aesthetic. Sometimes people want to change things just to put their own personality on things, the burger chain wrote on a social platform X. Their goal is to just delete the personality altogether, hence the elimination of the old-timer from the signage. Heritage is what got Cracker Barrel this far, and now the CEO wants to just scrape it all away, the restaurant's official account posted. California Governor Gavin Newsom office also got in the discussion. Newsom, a potential Democratic candidate for the president of 2028, who has increasingly been adopting President Trump's tone and all cap style on social media, said Cracker Barrel should stick with the old logo. What is wrong with Cracker Barrel? Keep your beautiful logo. The new one looks like cheap Velveeta cheese from Walmart. Oh, we read this the other day. The place for groceries, an old-fashioned term. Fix it ASAP. Woke his dad. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So they're changing the logo. Let's look at the logos. Okay, so the other one had a guy. Wait. The other one had a guy with his arm up against a barrel. And the new one is just this. And people are mad about it. The new one is a barrel shape. That's right. Like a barrel on its side. I don't know. I don't eat there anyway, so it's not going to affect me one way or the other. I mean, I guess unless they make good food for once. I just have to take everybody's word for it. It's not my thing. All right, then. Cracker Barrel. Maybe they get some younger customers for once. Oh, let me show you this. I commented on a video today. I just saw they got some likes. I don't think I don't know that I can play the audio just yet, but there's two different videos, okay? This is what you're dealing with when you're arguing. This has got to be a bot, right? I would assume, or like a really old lady, a really old man that just doesn't understand the internet, that doesn't understand how things work, that doesn't I don't know. I saw another one today. What was it? Someone said that if tides are real and caused by gravity, why is it only in salt water? Why does my tub not have a tide when I fill it up to take a bath? And why do no freshwater lakes have tides? I live on Lake Michigan is a huge lake and it doesn't have tides. But a simple Google search would have told them that Lake Michigan does have tides. In fact, I think it's Lake Michigan. It's one of, is it like, I think it's Lake Michigan. There's a lighthouse there that you can only walk out to on certain tides. Like if you have a high tide, you can't even get to it. Like the area to walk that the trail that you would walk is completely underwater. But like a simple Google search would have told them that freshwater, saltwater has nothing to do with tides. There's just not enough water in a bathtub to be able to notice a change in tides due to gravity and lunar pull and shit. Like I don't understand these people. So this is the one I'm going to read to you. Let me mute it. It's the YMCA song. Democrats, draft dodging is a federal offense punishable by prison. Paying off deference is illegal. Anyway, who gives a fuck? The man flew into a war zone to visit troops. That's this isn't it. That's beyond bravery. He took a shot to the head and got up with a fist pump. This isn't the one I'm looking for, but this will tell you who we're working with already. I think it starts out with Democrats. Oh, did they delete it? Hold on, let me see if I can still find it. Or are they just getting rage baits? I don't know. Here it is. I'm seeing a lot of gummy brain liberals claiming Trump's a 5-time draft. They put graft. A 5-time draft dodger. Okay? The liberals are claiming that Trump's a 5-time draft dodger. First, since his birth, there's only been 2 wars with the drafts. He was 11 years old for the Korean War and a medical condition for Vietnam. What other war was it? So let's just give him the fact that he was only eligible for the draft during the Vietnam War. So what are the other 4 wars he dodged the draft for? Because it's impossible that he dodged the draft for the same fucking war 5 times. What don't you understand? And then people are telling him, like, no, he dodged the Vietnam draft 5 times. 5 times. 4. So basically his number was called. So the draft is a lottery. His lottery number was called. He got a deferment for college. That covers you for 12 months. 12 months later, deferment for college. That covers you for 12 months. 12 months later, deferment for college. That covers you for 12 months. 12 months later, deferment for college. But that was his last year of college. That's 4. And then miraculously, when I'll read you the comment in a second. So people try to correct him and say, no, he dodged the same draft 5 times. The one for Vietnam. And it says, the comment on this post, or the caption on this post says, tell me again how the draft is done yearly. And what they share is a screenshot for Google AI. And it says, the question they typed in is, how does the draft work military? And the AI overview says, the military draft, known as selective service system, requires nearly all male U.S. citizens and immigrants aged 18 to 25 to register. If a draft were reinstated, the selective service would conduct a lottery, drawing birth dates and numbers to determine the call-up order. men turning 20 in the year of the draft would be the first priority, followed by older age groups. After a lottery, men would be sent notices and report for physical, mental, and medical moral fitness evaluations at a military entrance processing station, MEPS. Those found fit would be inducted, while others might receive deferments, exemptions, or assignments to alternative service as conscientious objectors. Conscientious objectors. God damn it. Conscientious objectors. Why can't I say it? Conscientious objectors. I finally conquered that. Again, this doesn't answer our question. This is about selective service, and if it were put into place, this doesn't answer the question that they posed. So I put a comment and I said, they never replied, of course. Comprehension isn't everyone's best quality. When we're at war and your lottery number is called for the draft, you go. If you dodge it like Trump did, he will not be called on again for 1 year. If he gets the deferment, at the time, he will need to dodge again with another excuse or join the military. We had soldiers deployed in combat in Vietnam for 10 years. The draft was every year from 1964 to 1973. Trump was able to dodge the draft with a deferment every year for 4 years with being in college. The 5th year, suddenly, he's out of the college excuse. A doctor that worked out of a building owned by Trump's father, and he wanted a favorable lease agreement from Fred Trump, suddenly, and without any previous documentation whatsoever, claimed that Donnie had bone spurs. That made Trump ineligible for the typical draft for life, which was conveniently timed to when Donnie could no longer use college as an excuse. That's 5 times over 5 years he dodged the draft for the same war. They still don't understand it. They're in the comments arguing. Delia Padilla said, tell us again when the last time anyone was actually drafted. Someone responds, tell us again if anyone expected any drafts. There was a lapse of 54 from the Civil War draft and World War I. Nobody thinks there will ever be a draft. That doesn't mean it can't happen, just like no one thought that one day we would ever have a felon as president. And then the creator of the video is like, it's still in effect to register. Yeah. Once he got the bone spurs, the medical deferment, basically that put him on a list to where he did not have to dodge anymore. The list that he's on, because he has bone spurs, he doesn't. If he had bone spurs, this would have been documented before, and he'd had an issue with them probably as a teenager, playing sports or running around, or as a kid playing. It would have been documented, whatever. Anyways, that put him on a list. He could still be drafted with bone spurs, but he moved way down the priority list. Like, we would have to be in really, really fucking bad shape before they start getting medical waivers for people who got their status bumped because they have some type of medical issue, right? Like, it would be really bad. It would probably be like, we're out of fucking troops and we've been invaded in the homeland, right? We're not going to do medical waivers for low priority draftees in Vietnam. It's just not something we had. To call himself a war hero after it, pretty fucked up. Right. Pretty fucked up. Just say it. Just say we were fucking wealthy. My dad had a lot of influence, and he got a fucking doctor to say I had bone spurs. Fuck. Holy shit. But to pretend like, oh no, I would have served, but I had an ailment and they kept me from serving. Get the fuck out of here. And then call yourself a war hero for what you're doing with Israel. That's pretty fucking extreme, I would say, but whatever. Let me see if I can refresh this. I cannot. Your run-on sentences. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I appreciate it. Whatever it is, I'm sure. Trump decides to axe a wind project just because it's wind. It's almost done. Trump administration halts work on an almost finished wind farm. The Trump administration has ordered companies to stop construction of a wind farm that's being built off the coast of Rhode Island. The acting director of the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, Matthew Giacona, wrote in a letter to one of the developers, a Danish firm called Ørsted, that the government was halting work on the almost finished project in order to address concerns related to the protection of national security interests of the United States. No one's saying that this can be our only power plants or that we should. What the fuck does this have to do with national? I could understand if all of our power came from offshore wind farms, that could be a national security issue. But that's not what we're doing. This is the supplement that we should. I'm not even saying like stop fossil fuels. I'm saying we should be supplementing everything because we're going to have an energy shortage and power bills are going to go through the fucking roof and the cost of heating your home is going to be extremely expensive. The way that we're handling natural gas, it's going to be crazy. But he said that it was stopped to address concerns related to the protection of national security interests of the United States. The project is also being developed by global infrastructure partners. The order to stop work on the Revolution Wind project is the latest move by the Trump administration targeting the country's renewable energy industry. President Trump, a longtime critic of the wind industry, killing the whales, killing the birds, in January issued a moratorium on new development of offshore wind projects. This isn't new. This has been in the work for years. The Internal Revenue Service the IRS recently put out new guidance that makes it harder for companies building wind and solar projects to qualify for federal tax incentives. And the Commerce Department is investigating whether imports of wind turbines and their components threaten national security. Ørsted said in a statement that it is evaluating all options to resolve the matter expeditiously, including legal action. Revolution Wind is located in federal waters 15 miles south of Rhode Island. Construction started in 2023, and the project has been slated to begin sending power to homes and businesses in Rhode Island and Connecticut starting next year. Any pause or uncertainty at this stage could ripple across jobs, contracts, and communities. By the way, a lot of these were union jobs, almost exclusively union jobs, and communities already benefiting from the project. Eric Melito, president of the National Ocean Industries Association, a trade group whose members include wind project developers as well as oil and gas companies, said in a statement. Today, the U.S. has only one fully operational large-scale offshore wind project producing power, Melito said. That is not enough to meet America's rising energy needs. We need more energy of all types, including oil and gas and wind and new and emerging technologies. The Bureau of Ocean Management didn't respond to messages seeking comment. Industry analysts have said that limiting renewable energy development amid rising electricity demand threatens to drive up power prices across the country. This is not the first time extreme partisan politics has derailed sound energy policy. Jason Grummett, chief executive of the American Clean Power and Industry Group, said in a statement responding to the Trump administration's stop work order to Revolution Wind. The unfortunate message to investors is clear. The U.S. is no longer a reliable place for long-term energy investments. In April, the Interior Department halted work on another offshore wind project near the coast of Long Island. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum wrote in a letter to the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management at the time that the approval of the project called Empire Wind, this was the reason they stopped this one, Empire Wind, because the approval was rushed through by the prior administration without sufficient analysis. Okay. Construction on Empire Wind finally resumed in May when Trump administration lifted the stop work order, but the disruption was costly for the project developer, a Norwegian company called Equinor. The firm recently cut the value of its investments by almost $1 billion, mainly because of the changes in regulations for future offshore wind projects in the U.S. So this company, because there was a stop work order for a month, decided to limit their investment by $1 billion fucking dollars because they can't count on the administration to just be fucking normal. For the second time, the Trump administration has taken unlawful action against a fully permitted offshore wind project under active construction. This time, one that is nearly 80% complete. It's almost 80% complete, and they did a stop work order on it for national security. Liz Burdock, chief executive of the Ocean Network, an advocacy group of offshore wind, said in a statement about the Revolution Wind project, This dramatic action further erodes investor confidence in the U.S. market across all industries and undermines progress on shared national priorities, shipyard revitalization, still and port investments, and energy dominance. Burdock said, in fact, halting work on Revolution Wind will drive up energy costs for consumers. Idle Gulf Coast vessel operators that have invested hundreds of millions of dollars in new or retrofitted vessels and jeopardize the livelihoods of union workers. I think there was a few hundred union workers on this job still. There was more, but they're 80% complete, right? They're wrapping shit up. They're a smaller crew now. It's just crazy. Hold on. I'm looking for an estimate. $800 union workers and an additional hold on. Today, more than 800 union workers. This was a statement back in March that looks like the company put out. Today, more than 800 union workers are actively building Ørsted's U.S. offshore wind energy project, Revolution. And an additional 500 union workers are expected to start offshore work this year at the Sunrise Wind and Revolution Wind projects. So you'd have to split those. But let's just stay with the 800. Holy shit. Together with operating South Fork Wind, these offshore wind energy projects will power approximately 1 million American homes and businesses at a time when unprecedented electricity demand requires a rapid expansions of domestic energy production. I don't understand this. I don't know why the blue collar workers that are still voting for Trump are fucking retarded. Are retarded. They've got to be. I don't know how you can think that he still supports blue-collar work. He doesn't. He hasn't. Mike Lindell was caught off guard. Let's see if we can find this. There we go. Let me get to the ads. I'll get you audio.
Almost exactly.
Okay, speaking of timing, I find it curious timing, Mike, that
Newsmax settled with Dominion finally, right? Because they were making up lies, just like Fox News.
Newsmax suddenly settles with Dominion voting systems, though I know the trial was upcoming in October, but settles as soon as Donald Trump is talking about it. There's lots of people that know that Donald Trump is working on this behind the scenes and that this is a priority, right? But they settle right as Trump.
Donald Trump's working on what? Dominion is unfucking defeated. No one has proven anything about Dominion. What could he be working on? Did you guys not see the leaks from Fox News where they all knew they were lying but it's what their fucking older voter base wanted, especially after they called Arizona too early and everybody turned on them.
Trump is about to do this executive order, and right about, as you and I know,
Accurately, they didn't call it too early. Their shit predicted 100% that Biden would win Arizona. He did win Arizona. They were just the first place to call it, and people got mad at Fox News for calling it accurately, but whatever.
Trump receives this detailed report from Tulsi Gabbard that is damning for voting machines, and right as the American people are about to find out more, do you find the timing curious of this settlement announcement?
I think it's bizarre. I think either
Hey, what's up, Lisa?
Chris Ruddy and the lawyers over at Newsmax are completely oblivious to what's coming out of the White House, or they were your insurance company. Maybe they made themselves. It's the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen.
What's more likely, that Newsmax is oblivious to what's going on in Trump's White House, or they lied and made it all up, and no matter what comes out of Trump's White House, they were going to lose? You think they just don't know what Trump, that's all they do all day is cover Trump.
That'd be like me going, hey, let's make a deal with these machine companies that keep coming. Hey, Mike, if we do a walkaway, will you quit talking about us, bad-mouthing us? Never. Just because you sue me, I'm going to quit. We're getting rid of the machines. They've all got to go. For Newsmax to do this, I couldn't believe it. And on the same day, I mean, what are they going to tell their stockholders? I mean, we were stupid. We settled when, I can see Dominion coming in there and going, hey, let's quick make a deal because they know their days are numbered. Dominion's days are numbered. ES&S, Hart, Smart, all of them. Their days are numbered here in the U.S., Emerald. That's a fact.
They've won enough. Dominion's won enough on lawsuits that even if you got rid of every fucking Dominion voting machine, they could still exist for the next 100 years.
So if I'm on Dominion, I'm going, hey, let's quick make this deal. Okay, we'll come down. Wherever we at, we'll come down here. But you don't know when there's an insurance company involved too, and they're using the thing. Well, the last time I talked to Chris Ruddy, it's been months now, but he video testimony in my case in Colorado. But he always says to me, well, now we have stockholders to look out for, being publicly traded. And this, you know what? Well, then you didn't do a very good job, Newsmax, because you should have seen what's coming down the road. This stuff isn't just about getting the machines. The problems are going to be shown and what happened in the 2020 election. We're not stopping until we show what actually happened, and not just that election, other elections, and how fast the crimes go all the way back to Venezuela with these machine companies.
That's coming on top of this, which is just wild when you think about it, when you stop and fucking think about this. Oh, let's see if we can watch this video first. Trump demanding that Tina Peters either be released from jail or the state of Colorado would face harsh measures. He's telling a state, release a convicted prisoner or I'm going to do bad things to you. The President of the United States.
About doing away with mail-in ballots and potentially electronic voting machines. Can you expand on that and how important
Well, that's a very off-topic, just really quickly. Mail-in ballots are corrupt. Mail-in ballots, you can never have a real democracy with
Donald Trump votes by mail-in ballot, by the way.
mail-in ballots. And we, as a Republican Party, are going to do everything possible that we get rid of mail-in ballots. We're going to start with an executive order that's being written right now by the best lawyers in the country to end mail-in ballots.
Holy shit, Merton. That's a cool name.
Because they're corrupt. And you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the
Why? So what he's actually talking about, now Trump votes by mail-in ballot. He votes absentee and mails in his ballot. What he's actually talking about is unsolicited, or when they send out ballots. Why would we not make voting as easy as possible for every U.S. citizen? The Republicans don't want that because when more people vote, they do worse. When less people vote, they win. Voting should have no hurdles, right? Everybody that's registered U.S. citizen should be voting, and it should be so simple. Even on your fucking phone or some shit. Like, it should be so fucking simple. When more people vote, they lose. When less people vote. So what he's actually talking about is when states, like during COVID, they mailed out ballots to everybody that was registered, right? You were registered, you had a verified address, they mailed you a ballot. That does not work great for Republicans. They want less people to vote. They know that people can't get off work. They know that people are out of town. They know that issues pop up and maybe you moved recently or did this or did that. They don't want those votes. The more votes that they discredit, that they get rid of, the higher the likelihood that they win.
Only country in the world that uses it because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. The other thing we want change in the machines. For all of the money they spend, it's approximately 10 times more expensive than paper ballots. And paper ballots are very sophisticated with the watermark paper and everything else. We would get secure elections. We'd get much faster results. The machines, I mean, they say we're going to have the results in 2 weeks. With paper ballots, you have the results that night. Most people, but most people.
By the way, there's no way that we're the only country that uses mail-in voting. This is just a fucking lie. He softened it later and said, and you know that we're the only country in the world, I believe, I may be wrong, but just about the only country in the world that uses mail-in voting because of what's happened. Massive fraud all over the place. But that's not true either, right? Even in places that are typically heavily mail-in voting, fraud, like there's slightly more opportunity for fraud during mail-in voting, but it's still exceedingly rare. Like there's never, ever been a case of mail-in voting fraud or any voting fraud for that matter, but specifically mail-in voter fraud that's ever changed the outcome of an election, ever.
Many countries use paper ballots. It's the most secure form. So between paper ballots.
I'm telling you, I'm predicting we will not be going to, John even says where they have mail-in Australia. We will not be going to paper ballots. Even back in like the day, like early America, where they had, the only option was to use paper ballots. It took them months to figure out who won. You ever wonder why the president's inauguration is so much later than election day? Because they spent those months riding by horseback to deliver the news after they spent months counting the ballots, and the electors had to travel by stagecoach to the Capitol to cast in their elector vote. Like, come on.
Very, very important. Paper ballots, and I think maybe even more important, the mail-in.
There are 34 countries or territories allow mail-in voting. 12 countries allow all voters to vote by mail regardless of whether you could come in or not or whatever. And 22 permit only some votes this way. So like absentee ballots or medical or whatever.
Voting. We're going to end mail-in voting. It's a fraud. If you have mail-in voting, even Jimmy Carter with his commission, they set it up. He said the one thing about mail-in voting, you will never have an honest election if you have mail-in. And it's time that the Republicans get tough and stop it because the Democrats want it. It's the only way they can get elected. Because with men and women's sports and with transgender for everybody and open borders and all of the horrible things, and now the new thing is they love crime. They're fighting me on the fact that I've made Washington, D.C. safe. We're not going to get mugged, beaten up, or killed.
Yeah, in-person paper ballots in the UK. They also do. By mail-in votes and by proxy votes in the UK.
Like all the people you've been watching get so badly hurt. I'm glad. I hate to take your time with this, but I'm glad you asked me that question. We're going to stop mail-in ballots because it's corrupt. You know, when you go to a voting booth and you do it the right way and you go to a state that runs it properly, you go in. They even asked me. They asked me for my license plate for identity. I said, I don't know if I have it. They said, sir, you have to have it. I was very impressed, actually. But it's very hard to cheat with mail-in voting. As you know what happens in California, it's so corrupt where some people get 5, 6, 7 ballots delivered to them. Now we got to stop mail-in voting, and the Republicans have to lead the charge. The Democrats.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've never checked into it, but I've read that multiple times that you're required to vote in Australia, which I think is a good thing.
Democrats want it because they have horrible policy. If you have mail-in voting, you're not going to have many Democrats get elected. That's bigger than anything having to do with redistricting, believe me. And the Republicans have to get smart. We're not going to have a country. I said for a long time at rallies, you need borders and you need free and fair elections. Those two things. Otherwise, you don't have. We have strong borders now. In 90 days, Mr. President, we didn't have 0 in 3 months. Not one person came in illegally into our country. In fact, even I find that hard to believe, but it's run by a little bit of a liberal group that put out the numbers, so I guess it's 0, 0, and 0. You go back a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 millions of people poured into our country. It was terrible.
And the story. this was the video. This is what Mike Lindell was just talking about. But here's the part about Tina Peters. President Trump on Thursday re-upped his call for Colorado to free Tina Peters, a state election official who was convicted of multiple felonies after breaching voting equipment. She actually let some guy in under a co-worker's credentials to steal data to hack a voting machine. While they're claiming everybody else is doing it, they did it. Right, we have to vote or there's a fine. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, to be honest with you. In the 2020 election, warning he would take harsh measures if she is not released. Warning he would take harsh... What? What harsh measures? What harsh measures can the president take against a state that convicted a criminal and you want them released? Free Tina Peters, a brave and innocent patriot who has been tortured by crooked Colorado politicians, including the big mail-in ballot supporting the governor of the state. Trump posted on Truth Social, "Let Tina Peters out of jail right now." He continued, "She did nothing wrong except catching the Democrats cheat in the election. She is an old woman and very sick. If she is not released, I'm going to take harsh measures." What do you think? What do you think the president is threatening there? Trump did not specify what those measures would be, but has in the past threatened to withhold funding from other states and jurisdictions if they do not align with his policies. Peters, a former Mesa County clerk, was found guilty by a jury of her peers in 2024 on 7 counts, including 4 felonies for helping to facilitate access to the county's voting equipment in search of voter fraud that she and her allies were unable to prove following the 2020 election. She even used her time to address the judge and ask for leniency and explain the reason that she committed her crime. She even used that to try to say that even though we didn't find the voter fraud, this is all a setup because there was voter fraud and they just hid it from us. We've all watched her speech, right? Peters, who is 69, was eventually sentenced to 9 years behind bars. Trump has in the past championed Peters' cause, and in May, he directed the Justice Department to take action to secure her release. Trump has for years spread the disproven claim that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen because of widespread voter fraud. The president has used those claims to push for an end to mail-in voting and other sweeping changes to election procedures, even though experts have noted there are exceedingly few instances of voter fraud involving mail ballots, and those cases are caught. I love when Republicans are like, see, here's voter fraud, and they share a story that someone was arrested for committing voter fraud, left or right, I don't care. You're sharing evidence that the system works. That yes, it's not 100% fraud-free, but the fraud is incredibly rare, and those people get arrested. Trump in March signed an executive order that would have directed states to require proof of citizenship when people register to vote. He has signaled he is planning to sign another order targeting mail-in voting. But states handle the administration of elections. This is one thing the federal government doesn't handle. Each state has their own election system. How they vote, when they vote, their fucking districts, how they count the votes, what contractor they use, everything is done by the states. States handling the administration of elections, and any federal attempts to seize control of the process would face certain legal hurdles. These are the same people that if this had anything to do with something they like, they'd be saying states' rights, right? Well, states get to decide abortion laws, but states don't get to decide their own voting laws? Is that what you're saying? This is like the elder millennial posted a video the other day where this guy, he was stitched to a video where the guy's like, how the fuck can you be like this freedom-loving Republican, blah, 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 all about states' rights, but you're okay with Trump using the military as the police in D.C.? And the elder millennial stitches the video and says, because it's not a state. It's the District of Columbia. It's a federal district. But if he ever does this to the states, then you'll see he won't do that. He won't do that. But if he did, I'll call it out. But then he threatens to send the military to Chicago. Elder millennial silence. Are you having a conversation by yourself? Vote how you fucking want. If it's mail-in voting, vote it. Who cares what you fucking prefer? It should be an option. Anyways, they've had an argument for 10 minutes. Trump, I think, will attend. I hope states stand up against them. States get to regulate their own elections. That's the way it fucking works. I don't know what else to tell you. But Trump's time on this earth may be short, anyways. That's not a threat. Just saying. What about Trump's marketing team? They're still alive and well.
To MAGA yesterday. I'm undercover in MAGA, and I thought you might like to see the 11 emails Team Trump sent to MAGA yesterday. Started with this one. I'm giving you my complete and total endorsement. He says this is one of the most important and impactful messages of my presidency so far. He's pleased to announce that I will be serving as a key contributor of the Trump operation as the newest member of his official advisory board. This patriotic American has been with us from the very beginning, helping us make...
This is dirty. This is dirty. Sending this to old people and telling them they've been selected to work on a board for Trump. I'm pleased to announce that, insert your name, will be serving as a key contributor of the Trump operation as the newest member of my official advisory board. This patriotic American has been with us from the very beginning, helping us make America great again. Congratulations to insert name, and have complete and my total endorsement for this incredible opportunity.
Make America great again.
It's... Spoiler alert, it's literally just to donate money. But he tells you that you're getting a position on his advisory board.
Congratulations to Karen. You have my complete and total endorsement. And all I have to do to accept the position is answer a couple stupid questions.
That literally said the last step. Congratulations. The last step to complete your application is to answer a few questions. How many years have you been a supporter of President Trump?
A couple stupid questions.
Is America better off under President Trump's leadership? Is America's economy stronger under President Trump's leadership? Is America safer under President Trump's leadership? Did you vote for President Trump in 2024? I'm sure. Did you vote for President Trump in 2016, 2020, 2024?
Stupid questions.
Do you support President Trump's America First agenda? Do you think President Trump is the greatest president in American history? And then to submit this, you have to donate money. To submit this, so he's telling you that he wants to endorse you and put you on his advisory board. Now, old people will get this. I know it seems fake to us, but old people will get this and think, what? I've been selected to help out? Yeah, I'm retired. I got a ton of time on my hands. Yes, if he wants me to do it, they all feel special, like Trump's just there for them. And to submit it, you have to make a donation.
And choose how much money I want to donate to accept my position.
I don't know. He did this the entire first time he was in the office. Anybody that would ignore this email is not somebody that they're looking for anyways. They're looking for the people that read every fucking email, click on every fucking link, think that Trump is specifically talking to them on the TV. Then it says your application was just approved. Your application was approved. I'll let her read it.
And then an application that I never submitted was just approved.
Karen, you're just seconds away from being admitted to the prestigious Trump Platinum Club.
I'm just seconds away from being admitted
We just need one more thing from you.
to prestigious Trump Platinum Club. They just need one more thing.
So this is in addition. After you fill out the first one, the second one does this and says, "Oh well, also you're about to join the Trump Platinum Club. You just got to do one more thing to accept this prestigious award."
For me. But I better act now before the midnight deadline or my spot goes to another patriot. I better not let that happen.
A fake time crunch, right? You got to act now, or we're gonna give it to somebody else. These are all high pressure sales tactics, right? It's exclusive. You got to act now. Just for you, we've got this price. You're my favorite person, and that's why I did this deal for you.
Plus, everyone who gives even just $10 is automatically entered to win a great jeans MAGA hat, one of only 100 in the world. Ew. So I can complete my membership by choosing how much money I want to give to them. And then he's asking nicely if we want to speak one-on-one. Congratulations.
Do you want to speak? What old fucking triple Trumper would say no to speaking one-on-one with Trump if they thought this is real? And again, the only way to submit any of this is by making a donation. I used to get these emails too, but I would never make the donation. So it would let me check the boxes, but it wouldn't let me continue. Are you with me as a proud American patriot, conservative or not?
I've got a few questions
America first, conservative or not?
for you. Just a bunch of
Tell me, what does America first mean to you? If I put you in charge of national security, what would you tell me to focus on first? Southern border, ending foreign wars, defeating terrorism, confronting China, energy independence.
stupid questions. More stupid questions. And it's
Oh shit, I want to read those.
questions you choose how much money you want to give to him. He wants to talk again and to submit the answers to the stupid questions you choose how many questions for you. Just a bunch of stupid questions.
I like reading the stupid questions. Do you agree it's time to stop, in all caps, funding endless foreign wars and finally take care of our own people here at home? Lots of people may agree with that. The problem is they will stop funding whatever war they don't want to be in as long as it doesn't involve Israel. But then that money never comes to people at home. If we're going to cut the fat in Washington to fulfill America First policies, where should we start? Slashing foreign aid, Green New Deal programs, bureaucracy, IRS expansion, Ukraine funding.
More stupid questions. And to submit
that, you have to make a donation.
the answers to the stupid questions you choose how much money you want to give to him. He
Karen,
wants
please.
to talk again after his meeting with Putin, which was
By the way, they fucked up and sent this meeting right here. After my meeting with Putin, please tell me you'll answer question number 1. It should be easy. They accidentally sent this out 2 days before the meeting with Putin.
2 days before this was sent out. It's the official Trump poll.
Do you support putting America first? Yes or no?
To submit the answers to he wants to talk again after his meeting with Putin, which was 2 days before this was sent out. It's the
Official Trump poll. Do you support putting America first? Yes or no?
official Trump poll. Which only goes to his strongest.
This poll is only going to my strongest supporters. That's you. I'm hoping you read your responses tonight. So can you act fast?
Supporters.
Do you think Donald Trump's ever read any donation, any tagline with a donation from an email he sent out?
Which might be why he claims his poll numbers are so high. Answer if you love Trump, not a cult.
Answer today only if you love Trump.
If you love Trump, not a cult. Stupid questions.
Trump Tower or Mar-a-Lago?
Stupid questions.
Free trip. Trump Tower or Mar-a-Lago free trip? Trump Tower, Mar-a-Lago, what's your? What is your voter registration status? Republican, Democrat, or Independent?
Wire a donation.
Do you support putting America first? Yes, MAGA, or no? Signature for secure submission. And donate. By the way, it said donate $47 if you love President Donald Trump.
Gotta go after the Democrats who funneled billions of dirty liberal
Democrats funded billions of dirty liberal dollars. Breaking news for President Trump. Billions funneled by the deep state. I have ordered the DOJ to fully investigate the liberal something donation organization Act Blue. For years, this organization has done the work of the deep state, lining their pockets
dollars
with foreign donations, possibly fraud, and the something, all fighting to. This is insane, right? Liberal dark money.
To fully investigate the liberal dark money organization Act Blue, which is the same as the organization that MAGA is donating to when they answer all of these emails. This organization
For years, but yeah, this goes to the what's it called? Win Red. I knew it said would win something. For years, this organization has done the work of the deep state, lining their pockets with foreign donations, possibly even fraud, and the worst of it all, fighting to silence the voices of real Americans like you. But $1 billion dirty, dark dollars doesn't scare me because all I need is you. Seriously, I'm counting on you. You've never let me down. So I'm humbly asking everyone reading this to do whatever they can, something to deep state.
The work of the deep state, lining their pockets with foreign donations, possibly election fraud, and fighting to silence the voices of real Americans like you. But $1 billion dirty, dark dollars don't scare me because all I need is you. Seriously, I'm counting on you, and you've never
Whatever they can to end the deep state's war.
let me down. I'm humbly asking everyone reading this to give
War chest once and for all. Everyone reading this to chip in whatever they can to crush the deep state's war chest once and for all.
some money.
They're almost as fucking beggar-like as Burt Lynch.
Your choice, of course. Official memo. I know I send you a lot of emails and I hate to take up even a moment of your valuable time, but this can't wait even a second longer. I just got sued by Gavin Newsom, plotting to eradicate our MAGA majority. So
He needs your donation because Gavin Newsom sued him.
here's 3 reasons to give $3.
I'm putting together a list of every supporter in Alaska who, by the way, this will change depending on what state you're in, right? You submit what state you're in. Every supporter in your state who shows their support for me right now, donating through this official link automatically gets you on my official list. So official link gets you official list for Win Red. I've set a goal of rallying 1 million patriots to my cause, and none more important than you. Everyone who donates right now is entered to win a Trump was right about everything hat. It even has the Trump signature. It's the embroidered signature, but still.
Everyone that donates is entered to win a Trump was right about everything hat. So just chip.
So please, will you chip in just $5 before midnight tonight to stand up to California's incompetent governor? Yes or no? Give $5.
Then $5. I love this one. This is a test. I want to make sure my emails are getting through. If so, please respond.
By the way, they all say secure transmission from Trump.
You have to give a donation. No tax on Social Security. But don't thank me yet. Democrats and radical judges are trying to shut down all the progress we've made together. Please, all I'm asking is for you to respond to me immediately. This can't wait. It's going to be hard.
No, the Democrats and the radical judges are trying to shut down the work I've done to do no tax on Social Security. What?
But in order to make this plan a reality, I'm going to need your help today, not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be too late. Stand with Trump by answering a couple stupid questions. And again, your choice of how much money you want to give him. Here's a challenge. Do you think you can beat this deadline? I bet you won't respond in the next hour. If you do, I'll be very impressed. The email says, all we do is win. Do you still approve of Toronto Dump? Stupid question. And a donation choice. Try not to smile when you read this. It's a rainy day for Democrats. The latest Democrat approval poll just dropped, historic low, when radical, self-obsessed lunatics hijack a party and toss common sense in the garbage. This is what happens. But here's the deal. Before my
The word republic and democratic are not exclusive. A republic, in the modern terms, is a democratic system, right? They refer to two different things. So republic refers to who holds the power, and democracy refers to how people express their will.
Mid-month deadline hits. This was sent after that, by the way. I need every America First patriot to answer my Trump, blah, 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 blah. More stupid questions. And a donation. Only he has the power to extend the window to accept this prestigious...
If you're talking about a direct democracy would be every citizen votes on everything all the fucking time, right? Like every bill that's being passed, every initiative, every law that's passed, everybody has to go vote. Every citizen has to go vote on it. Well, don't have to, but like that's how they get passed is citizens vote on everything. A republic, you put people to represent you, and you elect them through the people's will. We still have referendum voting, right? You see it all the times in states, like if they want to change liquor laws or marijuana or even abortion stuff. It just depends on the state. But a republic, you use representatives to enact that. So you say, I like all this guy's ideas. I can't vote all day. I got to go to work. So I'm going to send this guy to vote for me. But they're not exclusive.
Award for 1 more hour. Most people miss their shot. Don't be one of them. I told my team,
There are no modern countries that I know of that are a direct democracy anymore. I think Athens was a good example of a direct. They voted on everything.
And more chance before the deadline because I wanted Trump Merit Badge. It's the highest rank he can bestow. Congratulations. So I have to certify the statements below to claim my coveted Trump Merit Badge. Stupid.
My Trump Merit Badge. I believe we must end the invasion of illegal aliens flooding into our country. You have to check each one of these boxes you agree with. Flooding into our country, we need to protect American communities, secure our borders, and make America safe again. I believe that parents, not the government, not the radical left, should decide what's best for their children. Parents are the ones who know best, and we're going to protect their rights. I believe censorship of free speech is a direct attack on the American people, and we will not let the elites silence us to defend our First Amendment. I believe we must get something China and hold them fucking accountable. I don't know, for their actions threaten our country, our economic way of life. We are not backing down.
Stupid. And the final step is...
I'm a proud member of the Republican Party fighting for the conservative values that made this country great, and we're going to keep it great. I hereby certify that all the information I provided is 100% correct, accurate, and complete to the best of my knowledge.
Making a donation.
Damn, everything's a donation. What is this? Everything. You cannot submit a single email back to him without making a donation.
Okay, Donald, when you come to arrest me, the directions to my house are...
He is the elite. He is the one. He is the swamp.
A little tricky. Make sure you're...
Dude, we just thought our government was testing the limits of like corruption and doing stuff behind our backs and hiding it from us and having a two-tiered justice system, right? And stealing until Donald Trump got elected. Then we're like, God damn, it can get that much worse.
Paying attention. Okay, so when you turn on Sunset Boulevard, you want to go about a half mile, then turn left. If you hit the big oak tree, okay?
Oh, he's pretending to be Gavin Newsom.
No big oak tree, half a mile, turn left. Now, this is the really tricky part. You paying attention? So there's going to be 2 streets, both with the same name, Franklin Ave and Franklin Place. I do not live on Franklin Ave, so when you come to arrest me, not Franklin Ave, 8625 Franklin Place, 3rd house on the left. Can't miss it. Great.
Trump just blatantly does it, too. And even when you point that out to his followers, he's like, well, everybody else did it, too, so now Trump just does it.
Let's talk scheduling. So, best time to come to arrest me is going to be between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, right before all my meetings.
If Trump could figure out a reason to stop elections and he just stay in power, he absolutely would, I think.
Look, it'd be great if you called ahead because, you know, scheduling and whatnot. I want to make sure I give you enough time, though. So,
what's up, sweaty gopher?
That's great. I know you're a busy guy.
Trump's health not doing great. Check this out.
It appears President Trump is about to kick the bucket. I'm talking about one final permanent beep from his heart rate monitor, as health experts across the world are raising genuine concern over the president's health after multiple different events in recent memory have painted a different picture of the president's health than this administration is letting on. From Trump's meeting with the World Cup president, where he spent most of the time making sure to cover up his hand, to cover up all the foundation on his hand, meant to cover up all the bruising from the IV drips he's been getting, and not all the handshakes he gives out like Carolyn Levitt likes to tell. From when he was in Alaska, where it seemed like he was a bowling ball going down a lane with bumpers up as he was just going boing, 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 trying to walk down that red carpet, unable to walk even the semblance of a straight line, most likely because his cankles continue to swell up like grapefruits because he's unable to get blood flow from his legs back up to what people call a heart. And that's also why they've been hiding him behind the Resolute desk more often during press conferences so that people can't snap photos of his feet. But almost the most telling sign is Trump hasn't been golfing in 13 days, which is highly unusual for him. He's one day away from breaking his all-time record of time spent not golfing while president.
That's not great. And then check this out. This is actually from a doctor. I called it way back. Congestive heart failure is worsening. My dad,
the president's congestive heart failure
basically died from congestive heart failure. It kills everybody eventually.
The president's congestive heart failure is getting worse. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field. I see congestive heart failure patients on a daily basis. The reason I know that he has congestive heart failure is because of the swelling in his feet and ankles. And the reason I know it's getting worse is because he's sitting behind the desk on camera now. He lashed out against MSNBC for giving him hash about his ankles. This is how we know that something is true, because it gets to Trump.
When he lashes out, it is because it's true. When he stops a press conference, there's another thing. MSDNC said, yeah.
Remember recently where he was talking about going to heaven for some fucking reason? He says, people said I'm not doing very well. I don't think he's talking about the media. I think he's talking about the doctors who are treating him. The only reason his health has been maintained at all is because he has the privilege of getting...
Yes, Trump is sending National Guard troops to assist with ICE in Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Nebraska, Nevada, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming.
IV diuretics, spironolactone, Lasix, Bumex, something like that. That's why his hands have been bruised and covered with makeup. Badly, I might add. We know that it's getting worse because he knows he cannot hide the degree of swelling. That's why he...
Have you guys seen Trump's hands and the makeup?
Oh, he also has chronic kidney disease, which is also contributing to the swelling in the feet and ankles. I can't tell you how many times I have seen a patient in
his kidneys are failing for all the LASIK IV shit he's taking.
Home because they were hospitalized for AKI, or acute kidney injury. The kidney injury was caused by nephrotoxic medications, namely diuretics, spironolactone, Bumex, Lasix. The president is definitely getting sicker, and we know he's not going to change his diet because he's such a fucking idiot. I think he's going to be around for 6 to 8 months tops. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
The makeup is, look at this.
Look closely at Trump's hand. Do you see it?
Remember they said that he had, his press secretary said that he had bruises on his hands from shaking hands so much. It's really from IVs. It's probably the best place on, he's kind of got a gluttonous body. It's probably the best place to get a vein on him.
That strange patch of makeup is going viral.
That's definitely trying to cover up a bruise. Look, you can see where it's wore out. It's bruised. Veins blown out.
The White House says it's just bruising from handshakes and aspirin.
Dude, my dad had congestive heart failure. It's bad, right? It's where your heart just basically can't pick up fluid anymore. So it all pulls down. That's why his legs are like spilling out over his shoes, and they're so swollen. Like it's bad. It's where the heart can't pump enough blood to meet the need, and it's basically like a pump that can't pick up fluid. So the fluid builds up in the lowest point. And if you're standing or even sitting, like with your feet on the ground, the lowest point is your legs. It gets down there and it can't bring it back the way it needs to, and everything fucking swells up. And if you have it, eventually you just die from it. Your heart just gets weaker and weaker and weaker. Now, you can prolong that by like eating healthy and avoiding certain things and doing well. But my dad, where he was diabetic and the skin on he would get fluid in his legs so bad that the skin would rip and fluid would come out. It looked almost like blisters sometimes, like big pockets where it pushed it would rip and literally just water would come out, like clear fluid would just run out. It was awful. And he ended up wounds like that. And that's how we ended up, well, he lost his toe too, but that's how we ended up. So you guys remember when I was having to take my dad to the wound center like every day and then every other day. And then he was on a PICC line for antibiotics and shit because they kept getting infected. That was all due to congestive heart failure, the pressure on his legs, the fluid buildup, all that stuff. Yeah. And now Trump is using makeup to hide the bruises and sitting behind the desk anytime he gets a chance.
Shakes and aspirin. But doctors point to age-related skin fragility and even medical procedures. Is it harmless or a cover?
He's spilling out over his shoes. Do what you can to like prolong your life, but I don't think Trump's making any changes. And we can't trust his doctor. Have you seen the crazy stuff his doctor writes about him? That there's never been a healthier human on planet Earth. If he didn't know, he would say that Trump is 35. Like, what the? You can't trust it.
Cover up. You decide. Look closely at Trump.
So I've been looking at this makeup all over Donald Trump's hand, and I talked to a cardiologist, I talked to a nurse practitioner that specializes in cardiology, and it is absolutely fucking clear that Donald Trump has multiple heart conditions. They're having to draw his blood every single day. That's why he's got that 10 pounds of makeup on there.
They're not drawing his blood. He's getting IV Lasix to help with the fluid. And it's the fact that he's getting Lasix the way he is, and it's still not taking care of the problem, tells me how bad it is. Because my dad, if he elevated his feet when he could, he laid off like salty foods and anything that makes you retain it, and took his pill form Lasix, he could keep his under control when he was doing better than worse, right? So the fact that he has all this treatment, a doctor on call all the time, people always around him, a dietitian, cook, IV Lasix whenever he fucking, and it's still not working, tells me it's pretty bad. How long has he been getting all this treatment in the background and we didn't know because the treatment was actually working the way it's supposed to? Now he's past that point.
He probably has atrial fibrillation and probably peripheral vascular disease. That's why he's got those fat ass cankles. And this is being totally hidden from the American people. There is no way that he's not having his blood drawn pretty much every single day because he's on very strong medications relating to his heart. Now, this is ridiculous, and it's the same shit with our mainstream media, not asking questions, not digging, not doing their damn job. Just like when he allegedly got, that assassination attempt and allegedly hit with a bullet in Pennsylvania, and they never got the original medical report. They let his alcoholic, unlicensed doctor, Ronnie Jackson, write a BS medical report, which I've got that. I'm going to tear that apart too soon on a video. And, it's just so infuriating because he lies and lies and lies, and he said Sleepy Joe Biden, but he's the fat guy falling apart in front of our eyes. So I've been looking at this makeup all over Donald Trump's hand, and I talked to a cardiologist, I talked to
President Donald Trump's body language shifted dramatically during his meeting with Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska, their first since 2018. At the start, Trump greeted the Russian leader with applause, physical contact, and what body language expert Judy James described as the ultimate ego stroke, likening it to a host welcoming a celebrity guest. Putin appeared delighted, even purring at the warm reception. However, once official talks began, Trump's demeanor hardened. He adopted a stern power pose with grim expressions and fingertip tapping, signaling a move into more serious territory. James noted the contrast was also clear in the pair's closing handshake. While it mirrored the opening gesture, with an extended hand and cocked thumb, Trump's accompanying stare was noticeably harder, and he released Putin's hand quickly, indicating less warmth. National security experts cautioned that by hosting Putin on U.S. soil and excluding Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump had already granted Moscow a symbolic win. President Donald Trump's body language shifted dramatically.
Donald Trump is on his way out, bad veins, swollen cankles, and he's bruised, baby, he's fucking bruised.
The audacity to walk around with your hand looking like raw cookie dough and that nobody would notice is fucking crazy. Trump has been walking around with his hand caked in makeup trying to cover up these mysterious bruises that keep reappearing. Now, the White House said it's just from too much handshaking, but doctors are telling a very different story. Rumors are saying that this looks like frequent blood draws to monitor someone on blood thinners, which suggests serious heart conditions. I mean, we already know he has bad veins with that chronic venous insufficiency shit. That also explains the cankles that we've been seeing. But here's the thing, this is the same man who spent years saying Biden was too sick to be president. The same man that Fox News was pushing conspiracy theories about a massive health cover-up in the Biden White House. Remember, Biden's hiding something. Where are his medical records? The Democrats are covering this up. And yet this man goes on Fox News and says this shit.
I want to try.
You know, Vance and his supporters like Peter Thiel and those are just chomping at the fucking bit, dude.
Get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear
covering this up. And yet this man goes on Fox News and says this shit.
I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole.
Motherfucker, what do you know about your own health that we don't know? And why are medical professionals saying you might be hiding serious heart conditions while you're out here talking about not making it to heaven? The projection is loud, the hypocrisy is loud, and that makeup motherfucker loud as fuck.
Donald Trump is on his way out, bad veins, swollen cankles, and
Now would be good. About now would be good.
Central Park and what? Crenshaw. Central Park and Crenshaw. I want to say hi. Where's Gabriel Dean? Where you at? What's your name and badge number? What? What's your name? What's your name and badge number? What's your name? Oh, your what's his name? What's my name, man? Your brother's Gabriel Dean. What's my name? What's my name? What's his name? Look at you, dick sucker. Don't even know my name. I know. That's all right, but if you want to see Gabriel Dean, come to Crenshaw Central Park. Hey, we on Crenshaw Central Park, man. Damn, who the fuck throwing shit? Oh, shit, they threw an egg. What the fuck? Oh, damn, they cracked y'all with an egg. Oh, shit, bitch. That's you get. Hey, that's your bitch ass get. They cracked their ass with an egg. Long live Dirty Dan. Oh, Neil Gray. Dirty.
I just clicked on this because it looked interesting.
Oh, that's Speedy. Fuck out.
Y'all mad, bitch, egghead.
Oh, all right. What about, did you guys hear this recording about leaked audio about IEP students? So students that are on individual education plans because they're not neurotypical, right? Like Ollie has an IEP.
We know for a fact, and I'm going to make the numbers up. Don't hold me that these numbers are right, but we know for a fact that it costs more to teach a student with severe disabilities. I'm going to make a number up. Let's say that cost is $50,000 a year. It may be 20. I don't know. Compared to a student who is comes from a family with loving mom and a loving dad who put education at a high level, you know, it costs a lot less to educate them.
Now that was a leaked audio.
So students with IEPs cost more to educate them compared to a student where their parents love them and put education first. So you think that students with IEPs just have bad parents? Leaked audio of Ohio Senator George Lang.
Audio from none other than Ohio State Senator George Lang. And as an Ohioan, I don't feel very good right now. As a father who's had a daughter in an IEP program since she was in kindergarten, I don't feel that good right now. Senator Lang has made a mistake. What he's saying is that people that do not have neurotypical children, or what people like to call normal children, don't deserve to have a good education. No, they don't deserve any government funding or help getting around the school or eating on the bus or anything like that. This is the most absurd shit I've ever heard in my entire life. If this is really, really happening, people, then we have got a lot to be worried about. I will let you know this right.
To be fair, like Ollie has an IEP, and you guys know, we've already had run-ins with the school and made posts and shows and stuff. Like, all of the students that I know that have IEPs, their parents are overly involved and trying to find every path for them to success and how they can do well. Like, we're way more involved with Ollie's education than we are with Liam's, because Liam can navigate it himself. Liam does well. Liam doesn't need anything special, so we don't have to provide any extra for him. Oliver, we're on top of it. And all the other people that we talk to that their kids have IEPs are the exact same fucking way.
Right now, Senator Lang, I will let you know right now that I will make sure, since I live in the great state of Ohio, that you are never elected again. I will make sure this video goes so far that I might even promote this video. I might pay for this video to go as far out as possible so that you are never elected, Senator Lang. My daughter has made strides. I mean strides compared to where she was in kindergarten. She is.
In fact, Ollie is one of the school's highest, got one of the school's highest scores for his TCAP exams, the end of year exams from last year.
In 6th grade now and doing exceptional. Had she not had this IEP program, I don't know where she would be right now. So shame on you, Senator Lang, shame on you. And like I said, I will make sure that this gets out to every Ohioan that I possibly can get it out to. And your words will not go unrecognized. Enjoy your seat now, Senator Lang. You just pissed off the wrong IEP parent. And I do love my kids.
Comparing a kid with an IEP to a kid whose parents love them and put education first. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? What a way to say it. All right. The guy, a YouTuber, TikToker that I really like, Generic Art Dad, we watched a bunch of his stuff here. He put out a video about redistricting, how that's done, gerrymandering. And instead of using left versus right, he uses clowns versus wardens. But it's a pretty informative video.
If we have 10 districts, this might be how you see the districts vote in a fair election. But a fair election.
All right. So on this, they have 10 districts. And you can see a lot of them are not very close, whatever. But we had half won by the wardens, half won by the clowns. But if we redistrict that,
fair, you want your clients to win. Exactamundo. Yeah, what I do is I pack the clowns down into a couple of districts while maximizing the number of districts that the wardens can win. Aren't you handing districts to your opponent then? If the clowns win 90% of the vote in the district, that's not actually any better than just getting.
Not better than getting 51%. So the goal of gerrymandering is not to put it in a place where you get like a fucking 99% of the vote. If you get 51%, that's no better, or 90% is no better than 51%. So if we spread this just right, instead of having this guy get 90% and this guy get 30%, we can have them both get 55% or 70% and guarantee they both win.
Getting 51%. I'm not following. All right, here. This is how districts might look after we pack and crack. This is why you redraw the districts to cook the vote. Do you see how when we shove the clowns into District 10, they have less voters?
So they shove all the clown supporters into one district, and they win all the rest of the districts.
In the other districts? So even with 50% of the vote, theoretically, the wardens could win the other 9 districts. Why'd you say theoretically? Well, if we try to win too many districts, our margins are going to get thinner, which means even a small shift in voters could actually hand the win to the clowns. That's called dummy mandering. Here, realistically, in this situation, we're probably going to aim for like...
So instead of trying to win 9 out of the 10 districts at like 55%, they'll instead try to win 8 out of the 10 districts at 60, 70%. That way, in 2 years, if it shifts a little bit, it won't cost them 8 of their seats.
Like 7 or 8 districts. Still insane. So insane. Yeah, and we do so much other cool shit too, like kidnapping and hijacking and prison gerrymandering. Do you mean like the representative that was kidnapped in Texas? Listen, Texas is our bread and...
These are all terms for different types of gerrymandering. So like kidnapping is when you... Well, he'll explain in a minute. That's when you move your opponent's house out of the district they typically run in, and then they're no longer allowed to run in that district. He'll explain it. Hold on.
But the Nicole Collier thing was weird. No, when we hijack a district, what we do is we move an incumbent's home into a district that is going to be really hard for them to win. Because people have to run in their home district. Yeah. It's smart. It's something. Kidnapping is when we take two incumbents' homes and wrap them up into one district.
So if they take two really well-performing Democrats and end up putting them in the same district, only one of them can win.
So only one of them can run. Prison gerrymandering is when we count the population of a prison in a rural area, which inflates representation for rural areas with people who can't even vote. Not if they're felons. You guys are sick. The sickest. There aren't any rules about this. It just seems like there should be rules about this. Yeah, I mean, there are some rules around redistricting, like having roughly similar populations, being contiguous, things like that. No, against gerrymandering, like no spiders, or districts should have a similar composition of voters to the state. Well, the clowns tried to pass legislation stopping gerrymandering, but the wardens said no. And we just get to be stuck in this lovely race to the bottom. And if you even want to call it a race, it's not really that fair. The wardens control redistricting for 191 House seats, while the clowns only control 71. Those are significantly different proportions than the makeup of voters in the United States. Yeah, I'm not so sure that this turns out how the wardens think it will. Well, don't you worry too much about them. Right now, they have the loudest, meanest Grand Imperial Warden they have ever had. Sure, but the clowns will make a deal with the devil himself to not be under the warden's control. Will they? Fuck, no, probably not.
Anyways, he does really good, informative videos. It's generic art dad, so check him out on TikTok and YouTube. Here's another gerrymandering video. So this one
is gerrymandering, and why is it even legal? Oh, you actually might not. What actually is gerrymandering, and why is it even legal? Oh, it's really quite clever. You see, we carve up.
Here's how you could divide Michigan up to make it almost all Democrats, which we won't because we've all voted in grassroots anti-gerrymandering law. So if we did this to Michigan, it would make it almost all Democrat wins. And included the same number of people roughly in each district.
A map into new districts to make sure that the party in power has a strong advantage the next time that people vote. It just feels anti-democratic. We don't actually live in a democracy. Oh, you can just ignore him. Yeah. So you're not a politician. Me? No, politicians hire me. I'm a consultant who specializes in map optimization or data-driven district design. Gerrymandering has really become a story of technological advancement over the last few decades. Of course it has. Everything is an industry now. If enough of us changed our voter registration, would that mess up your whole scam? No, you're not as clever as we are. We use software. Oh. Software that tracks all sorts of information. Age, race, income, education, your internet history. We even track which primaries you've voted in the past. Oh, God, what? So you know how I'm going to vote without even seeing my vote? We don't actually need to know how you'll vote. What's more important is how the precinct that you're in will vote so we can pack and crack districts. It just feels so anti-democratic. We don't actually live in a democracy. I just hate that guy so much. Don't give him any attention. I'm trying. Why are you even allowed to redraw the districts in the first place? If you want to have fair elections, populations move and shift over time. So every 10 years or so, it is the lawmaker's responsibility to redraw those districts to make sure that people are represented fairly. And you've just hijacked the whole process for your advantage. Completely bastardized it. Yeah, no. In the past, districts were mainly redrawn to give districts roughly equal populations, like little gelatinous blobs on a map. But as you started designing them for parties to win, they've kind of started looking more like spiders. The spiders of democracy. Isn't it pretty obvious then if you're looking at a map if it's been gerrymandered? Yeah, but we are getting better and better at making districts look relatively normal while still voting how we want. You know what I'm gonna say? We're a constitutional republic. Shut up! It's different. We are also a representative democracy. You can be two things at once, and we are both. Stop licking boots.
That's how I feel doing a show on here. We don't live in a democracy. Very good show. Very good channel. Check it out. Generic art dad. I guess I got an edited video real quick for my sister, so I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I enjoy the time we spend together. I'll be spending more time sitting outside your window, staring into your bedroom tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. I'll see you around the next one. Have a good night. And we'll see you on the next one.
For months, I've been reading articles and commenting.
What is this?
About how much.
Oh, no. Thank you for this, Dr. J. I'll show it next time. You guys have a good night. See you on the next one. You were supposed to be in the shower hours ago, Mara.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag.
Come meet eyes with me at your bedroom window.
You don't have.
I am the internet. Ooga booga.
People on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go.
That's right, John.
Some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believers? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention.
Atsuko was being so pretentious about how fancy her Chinese noodles are. I'm gonna go home and eat some ramen.
People, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on
Oh, you guys want to see something funny before we go?
the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said,
If you're still here. This is why that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, the game that I like, should be game of the year. Listen to some of this dialogue that you can pick while playing the game. Some excuses you can make.
And he gets this feeling that his time's nearly up.
All right, so he just killed a civilian right in front of a guard.
God, you murderer! We know how to make quick work of murderers here.
Wait, let me explain.
Talk then, but make it quick.
That man wasn't of this world.
What the hell do you mean?
He was the spawn of Satan. He had red eyes and reeks of sulfur.
Do you have any proof?
Proof? Isn't what's going on around these parts proof enough? The devil and his henchmen are responsible for all this suffering. If I were to let him continue on his rampage, you'd all end up in the flames of hell. You, your family, everyone. If I were you, I'd call a priest quick to douse the body with holy water to stop the evil forces from jumping into someone else.
All right, I'll do it. But you'd better be on your way. Let's not talk about this any longer. And he gets this feeling that his time's nearly up.
It's a pretty fun game, and the comedy blended in and all the choices you can make, it's pretty awesome. Anyways, check it out. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is getting ready to get a new DLC on September 9th, and I'll be playing it constantly for at least a couple days. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Have a good night. We'll see you on the next one.